dang. Forgot my gloves. Look at all this hollow green weed. It's the time of year that the green seaweeds go crazy. That's enteromorpha. It grows in this little band of the beach because all that sand up there is full of seawater, and as the tide goes out, it continues to trickle and wash down the beach, and that's what keeps this hydrated so that it doesn't dry out in the sun. And this is what it looks like if it does dry out. It loses its green pigment and dies. I gotta have gloves. Here, look at that. These are the spore capsules on a knotted rack. Pop those suckers and they're full of a slimy substance that contains all their gametes. They're just about ready to pop on this rock. So what happens out here? There's a tremendous amount of tide. Today, 20 feet of water flowing in and out. And all that current brings all the nutrients that typically in a bay would settle on the bottom. Brings it up into the water column. And since it's there, the seaweeds can absorb them. And using the sun to photosynthesize, they grow like crazy. Hey, look at this sea lettuce here. Gorgeous stuff. We got sugar kelp. We got shotgun kelp here. We got some kind of red filamentous, fuzzy, probably an invasive algae there. Here's some gracilaria. Kind of like hollow green weed, but reddish. So many. There's such a variety of seaweeds, and they grow here because of the current and the tide and the upwelling. In our bay, Cobscook Bay, it's a Passamaquoddy word for place of boiling waters, I think. Probably got that wrong, but it's these boiling waters. You get out there in the middle and you see pillows of water boiling up, and then you see these little whirlpools where it's sucking down. So the water's like top to bottom, like a jacuzzi, all the time, moving 24/7. I remember once a month, as they say, when the stars line up, but of course it's the stars and the planets, the tide, we have what's called spring tides, and the water drops super low. And this is the time for anyone who loves to go tide pooling to get out and just walk around, because as the water drains down, you never know what you're gonna find. Like out there, you can see some loons that are fishing in, oh, there's another one there, in only a few feet of water. They're probably taking advantage of the low draining tide as well. Down the bottom, you can see that pink encrusting algae. It's just covering the rocks. Now remember, that's a plant, that's a seaweed. Sort of atypical. Here's a question for all you tide pooling dorks. Can anyone tell me what kind of seaweed this stuff is? I call it horsehair weed, but I've never actually taken the time to look it up. But look at how fuzzy it is. And it seems to grow out in the current, the areas with a lot of swift moving water. Maybe someone can look it up for me. Well, you can see here that the conditions are just right for the sea colander kelp. It's huge. And look at those little yellow dots. Those are the egg cases of kelp snails, and they grow on everything. People call this shotgun kelp, obviously, with all the holes in it. Sea colander is the name. So these snails, they lay their eggs on the sea colander kelp, on the sugar kelp. They even grow on our Irish moss that we harvest. There's not much moss out here. The seaweeds tend to like grow in clusters in areas. Now this rock is covered mostly with mermaid's hair, shotgun kelp or sea colander, a bunch of sea lettuce, and then look right here. It's kind of a neat seaweed that grows like spaghetti. It's called cordweed. Look at how long this is. Woo. I got a 16-foot long seaweed. Same thing though, it's using the nutrients from the water and photosynthesizing. Wow. Look at the variety of marine algae here, these macrophytes, and all the sea urchins up there. Look at this, mermaid's hair, limpets, purple laver, gracilaria. Oh, Look at all the mermaids here. So fuzzy, it's like felt. In clusters there. As we're walking along the beach, the flora is changing. We are seeing some mermaids here, but look at this spiral rack. That's like knotted rack. We're getting into some nice red dulse. Listen to that stuff. So crispy. And then I've even seen a few clusters of Irish moss. And here's some nice fresh moss growing on these rocks. And of course, as you go up, you get into the bladder rack and the knotted rack. And here's a better look at that seaweed that I asked someone to help me identify. So fuzzy, so feathery. But sometimes if you move it, there's some creatures hiding underneath, waiting for the tide. Nope. Time to head back. Call it a day. Come on, pup. We gotta go.